Hey, I'm Steven.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're independent hairdressers. We started this podcast because there's a movement in our industry.
Hairdressers are embracing independence more than ever. These are the stories of those hairdressers.
We hope you find them inspirational and educational and show you that independence does not mean isolation. You're a part of this revolution, and we're here to support that. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are sitting down with Elizabeth Faye of Beauty by Elizabeth Faye, still behind the chair.
Every week.
And then we're going to get into you're starting to open your own salon.
Yes,
so
scary.
We'll get to that too. So I want to start out actually with you guys because you guys have a little bit more history. Because you guys have so much history, I feel like a third wheel sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone probably does. We go way back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so why don't you guys give me your history of how you know Elizabeth a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into what's happening here and now today.
Did you see that?
Well, yeah, she's a modern girl.
She was, she just took a picture for the Instagram thing. I want to know how to do that stuff. Yeah.
Snapchat.
Sneaky. Look, she's so good. She needs to teach us. Okay. Do you want to tell the story? You probably told the story 100 times.
I
so
want
you could
to
probably
tell it. Or do you want me to tell it?
You could tell it.
Oh, okay. So I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, and I got into the hair industry because of Brandon. When I was 12 years old, I was sent to a different school from the age of 11 to 16, and I dropped out when I was 16. When I was 12, I was at a private school, and I had cut and colored my own hair. Actually colored it with stolen box dye, and I was referred to Brandon Holt at the Robert Croming salon to get my hair fixed. Mm-hmm. And I went into the salon, and I got a color correction. And I guess this is what I say in my workshops. I tell people I don't remember what my hair looks like when I went in or when I went out that day, but what I remember is the way I felt. And that honestly changed my life. So I remember feeling cool. I remember feeling listened to. I remember feeling included. And I just felt things that I didn't feel at home or at church or with friends or neighbors or really anywhere else in my life. So I left, and my dad paid for the color correction, and he was not happy with the price ticket. And
sorry about that.
Yeah. And yes, like I saved up money doing whatever 12-year-old kids do. And I came back with money, and I said to Brandon, what can I get for this much? And he just said to me that if I came back with better grades on my report card, that he would do my hair complimentary. And I guess
I said A's.
A's.
Right?
And I said, no way am I going to get A's.
This is a girl who just stole box dye and is getting D's and F's in school.
We settled for B or something.
Maybe we settled for something.
Because I remember every time it being more. And he's like, yeah, and you can't ditch school. I remember that specifically.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had that conversation with my dad. And I mean, as a stylist now, I know how busy we are. Like, we're double booked. We have people waiting for us at home or in the chair. And so I just realized like how much he really didn't have to do that, and how that was just like purely an act of kindness. And yeah, I mean, little did he know, like, that literally changed the path of my life.
Well, I mean, 3 months later, the girl comes in from D's and F's to almost a straight A report card, which I didn't really think she was gonna do that. And I've been doing her hair for free ever since, till you were about 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
Till you went to
like
hair
Kelly's.
school.
Yeah. Yeah. So later, I was 16, and I had dropped out of high school, and he worked for Kelly Cardenas at the time. And they kind of made me a deal that if I wore black and worked my butt off for free, I would get an amazing career. And so I started I remember Brandon just being like, just show up in all black, and you just walk in the back door and just sweep hair. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, just do whatever you're told for free. And so I did. I just followed that advice, and eventually they let me shampoo, and eventually they let me blow dry and help curl hair, and basically go through an assistant program.
Illegally.
Completely illegally, no license, no school, 110% illegally.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, do you have to have a license to shampoo
touch hair? Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
around
you have to have a
styling.
cosmetology license to get paid to do hair, but I wasn't getting paid.
Yeah. Well, maybe that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the
It was like
That's
slave
probably
labor, but just
Did you go to hair school after that?
I went to hair school
to get legit
later that fall. Yeah, I went to Paul Mitchell, and then I would come back every couple weekends, and I would get to travel, and they'd have me share my story, and I'd get to go to signature gathering or hair shows or everything they did really, and just get to assist at any sort of educational event, or really, it was an amazing career. It was a great start to a career.
Well, and, just from the Paul Mitchell School, you were working with, you were doing photo shoots for Paul Mitchell, and she was a go-getter.
Lucy Dowdy, but like only because I'd been immersed in an environment where I was told, like, if you work hard, good things happen. So you just work hard for free and keep doing it until something happens and you do it more.
Is that what you do still?
Basically. No, but I just think you have to work really hard for anything you want.
I think that's very fair.
Nothing comes free, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I just took upon that yes mentality, which I've stuck with myself. I still have that yes mentality, even to a fault. And where now I'm learning to actually try to say no. But I mean, it's so important to say yes. And so really that power behind the chair changed the path of my life.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thanks, B.
Somewhat. She's slipping back into her ways.
Shut
I'm
up.
just kidding.
Well, and so I imagine that you learned this about Elizabeth through the process of correcting her color, that she needed some help.
Some more correction.
Yeah.
So then fast forward that to, and by the way, that was a more immersive story than I even realized. I'd heard the part about, Brandon did your hair, and I was like, oh yeah, that's great, and then he kind of got interested, but
no, it was like a mentoring thing for years.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I remember him telling me his formula he'd do, and always be like, hair's easy. Anyone can do it. You can do it. And genuinely, I never had the thought to do hair cross my mind. And I just didn't know what else to do. And the only place I had ever felt someone, it sounds cheesy, but believed in me and saw something was in the salon. And so when they're like, show up and work for free, I'm like, cool. Someone wants me to do something. I'm doing it.
Yeah. Somebody just valued you.
Yeah. Someone saw something so
and
cool.
Also held you accountable for it. So it's a good balance and good structure. I think that's interesting because I get that question of, I grew up with two sisters, and they just think you just do your sister's hair. But we've been talking to a lot of hairdressers recently, and I think maybe fewer people think they're going to become a hairdresser when they're young than actually do.
Surprise, you're a hairdresser.
Surprise.
Well, and I think it's a craft that anyone can get good at. I really do.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't think you're born to blonde hair well. I just think you learn it.
Yeah. Well, and I also feel that, that's a lot of what we're trying to present out there and create this really inclusive thing, that it's not about, just the top as the ones that are doing the cool stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It is such an accessible thing.
It is.
Whether that's we talk about how you do it, but then actually just the doing of hair. I think it's so cool that anybody can do it, become good at it. And everyone's going to have their own natural perspective or maybe some type of talent associated, but
right.
I agree. I think that's awesome.
No.
So do you, now that you are an educator, and maybe I don't want to jump ahead, maybe we'll get that story. I guess you just said you do share that story at your classes, how you started your box dye experience, meeting Brandon.
Well, and I mainly share it because I feel what I've learned after being in the industry, the little amount I've been in it, but I feel the power behind the chair is so strong. And so I want people not only to leave with a new skill set, but to mainly leave feeling empowered and inspired and knowing what kind of influence and power they have every day. Mm-hmm. And I just think sometimes in life, in our careers, we just need to be re-inspired a little bit and recognize what we have.
And bring it back to the client.
Yeah, bring it back to the chair. Yeah, that's the core of anything. So, in our industry.
Yeah.
Personal relationships, really.
Yeah, no, it's the relationship.
Doesn't matter the job.
Yeah. Well, and that's what makes doing hair fun.
So something that I think now makes you even more, that was an incredible transformation, just going from, punk kid to hairdresser. Having a job. That is
She's still a punk.
You could stop there and that would be pretty awesome. But, let's take it further, because that's what really caught my attention and was, I would probably want to have a podcast with you anyway. I enjoy speaking with you, but now here you are taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah. You're in St. George, small town, and you're making big waves all over the country. So explain, how does one start?
So should I preface this? Because I didn't really say it very well. So Elizabeth travels around
all
over the nation teaching hair coloring classes. And do you
color, style, and business.
Cool. Color, style, and business. Thanks for pointing that out too, because
is a huge part.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So traveling around, and every time I've looked, they're like sold out classes everywhere. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of.
We pack the house usually.
That's incredible.
Name some places you guys have done.
Portland was amazing. New York was amazing. Connecticut was really cool, really beautiful. We've done multiple cities in California. Honolulu was an interesting experience. That was like, I wrote in my diary at the beginning of the year, I'm going to Hawaii this year. And then I remember getting a host salon email me the next week and being like, oh yeah, the universe is real. Like, you write that down. And I remember like sitting in my bed and screaming and being like, yeah, I wrote that down. It worked. It's been busy, but we've gone, I want to say 15, 16 classes, and it's only half through the year. I think we have another 17 booked. I've worked 3-4 hair shows.
That's just in this year.
Yeah. I did one thinking it would just be for fun.
Yeah.
But education's been a huge part of my life since the beginning, and I feel really blessed to be able to do it independently.
And that's so cool to me because this is Beauty by Elizabeth Faye. It's not Elizabeth Faye representing such and such company who
we
takes your
represent
talent.
hairstylists. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's that accessibility factor again. You know, anybody could do hair, become good at hair. In a way, you're proving that anybody can then take it another step further.
Absolutely.
And do this because you've done it all on your own. And I mean, you have a great team with you as well.
Yeah. But I mean, you start things by yourself. Absolutely. You can't hire a team and then start.
So how did that happen then?
So from Kelly's, I worked for him out of 2 locations, Vegas and Chicago, and I got the opportunity to travel internationally, do a lot of stuff, and really I felt like see every corner of the industry, whether it was hair shows. And I mean, I just really, really loved being behind the chair, and I was like really engulfed in education, and I was always helping other companies, you know, with their education or educating for free. And I just wanted to do more than build another person's brand, I guess. Is that bad to say? But
no, not at all.
I just had found it's good to like reflect, like, what am I enjoying about what I'm doing and what am I not? And so that was kind of what I did. Like, oh, I'm enjoying weirdly like creating curriculums and sharing with people. I'm not enjoying being paid $8 an hour, and that's just the honest
doing
truth.
Someone else's,
is that okay? Building someone else's brand and like filling other people's chairs. So I just remember standing in the salon and thinking, wow, 6 people are in here because I brought them here. That sucks for me, but that's great. It was like awesome to look around and see it, but then it was like, wait. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
of course, that's exactly the kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so that was just kind of the truth of it. And so I enjoyed building a brand and helping people. So after the birth of my son, I was like, I want to do more. And I mean, social media was definitely making waves, and I had been posting on Facebook and stuff, but I wanted to do more. And so I changed the name of my blog, and I kind of started running with the Beauty by Elizabeth Faye umbrella because it was an open umbrella. So I started with a blog actually, and I just would share tutorials and different things like that. And I just saw traffic kind of grow and people were interested. And honestly, I had a lot of failures and things happen with a lot of things I tried. Like I had an e-course I tried that didn't go good. I worked with a lot of companies and like wouldn't get paid. Honestly, what I did in the salon, I did on my blog. Like I just like worked for free, put money into it, like exactly the same thing, but digitally. I did a lot and not a lot came out of it, or so it felt like. And then a year and a half later, I kind of looked back at all of that stuff I did, and people very close in my life like made fun of me, told me it was stupid, and I was posting stuff on all my social media accounts. And I remember feeling stupid, but there just has to be more I can do with this. And then I think sometimes we just work, and then all those little things add up, and then you look back and you're like, that's freaking rad. Something happened, you know? And so I think you just have to follow your gut in that way. And so that's what I did, even though people said it was kind of dumb. I just kept sharing online, and eventually the Instagram thing, you know, started taking off. And I really, just like when we go to a hair show and we're networking with the companies, I was like, well, I'm going to do this online. I'm a mom. I have a little baby that I'm nursing. I have a full clientele. I can't go to other places, but I can be on my phone. And so that was what I used it for. And it started making waves. The same it would as if I was dressed nice at a party handing out my business card. And so I was like, I can do this. I can do this from the couch. And so, why color sat or why I was holding my kid, that's what I did. And so I just decided that I wanted to create a curriculum. And at the time, independent education, I remember 3 people were really blowing my mind, but that was it. And so I started last early fall, late summer. And I remember the beginning of that year being like, there's like 1 one person doing this and that's so amazing. And I've done this forever and I love teaching. And so I'm just going to come up with the structure of what I feel like would be easy and simple and make sense. And just, I think that year I spent, well over $5,000 attending education. Just really invested. And also, again, people are like, that's dumb, that's stupid. People close to you, like, just, you're making good money behind the chair. Why are you throwing it away? And you're like, because I want to do something more. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did. And then I wanted to share it. And so I started in my own town and I had a good thing going on my blog and I just kind of ran with it. But I really tried to have the value in my class be what I wish a class would have. I wanted to walk away feeling inspired. I wanted to walk away feeling like I learned a system. I learned products. I wanted to walk away feeling like I could do it. And I wanted to learn more about my business. And so I tried to make it simple enough that people could recreate it and have the same success behind the chair that I was finding with different freehand techniques or whatever that might be. And I really was just like, I'm just going to do one or two and it'll be really fun. And I'm really excited about it. And it just kind of grew from there. And it was the same thing with the blog and behind the chair and everything. Like there was a lot of failures.
Sure.
And there was a lot of any new business, money lost or things you can't figure out, anything. There's all these hurdles, like bringing on team members and training people. And you're working all day in the salon and then you have a kid. Then you're on your phone and then you're emailing people and you're going to bed at 3 a.m. And then you're freaking nursing. Like it's just, you just work your ass off if you want something. And I still do. And I have 3 or 4 girls that work for the workshop. We're bringing on 7 girls tomorrow in the salon. And yes, it's gotten easier, because I've learned a lot of stuff, but every new project, I just know, here we go. Like, put your boots on. Like, it's a new thing, but I love it. And so I think you have to love it for sure, because it's kind of psychopathic. People are like, it's psycho. So if you want to do anything, you can do it. Mm-hmm. I just think it's important that you're finding bliss in it. Because if you're not, you should stop, you know? And so, like, there were certain things online I just didn't find bliss in, and they were discouraging to me or hurt my feelings. So I didn't do that, you know?
Well, and I think if you're finding that happiness and that bliss in what you're doing, it's probably twofold. One, it helps you power through
the hard stuff. Because there is so much hard stuff.
Yeah. And secondly, it's likely that if you're experiencing that feeling in your gut and your heart, then it's probably because you're on the right path. Yeah. Too.
And you have to believe that. Like when it feels, I guess if you're falling in love, like you're feeling that, I think it's like falling in love. Is that weird? I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And so I keep doing it, even though relationships are hard, business is hard, but I feel like it's right. And so
that's great.
You work for it.
And this is from someone in a small town in Utah.
Yeah. I'm kind of stuck there. So I remember my first blog, My Clients Are Cooler Than Your Clients. I was like freaking 18 when I wrote this. I remember I found it on the internet. I hope it's gone forever and no one else can find it because it's embarrassing. But I remember writing down like, you don't have to live in New York to do cool things, sort of thing. Like I had read this book where this lady was it was like the whole social media thing when it was starting. And I was, well, good, because I'm kind of here and I can't not feel like I can't do anything with my life because I'm in a small town. So it doesn't matter where you live.
That's great.
And the internet's so accessible now that, yeah.
In a way, I think this new, social media and just the way we communicate has kind of taken some of the monopoly away from these central places.
It's an even playground.
Yeah. You work hard. In LA and New York.
Seriously. Airplanes are everywhere and anyone has the ability to have a smartphone. Mm-hmm. So it's game on if you want it.
That's great.
So next step, tomorrow is first day official of.
So tomorrow I have 7-8 girls coming and they're getting their keys and signing their contract. We're having they don't know, but they're getting cute gift bags and then we're going to dinner and they're being welcomed into the Elizabeth Faye House of Hair. So
it's amazing.
They're home now.
Do you imagine how's that going to develop? Knowing you, I think you've probably got lots of ideas of what's next.
Right.
What do you imagine? What is the House of Elizabeth Faye, the salon?
Yeah.
What shape does that take place and what's the intent behind it?
Yeah. I guess the purpose for it was I've never been in a salon where I felt like my ceiling for growth, like there was no ceiling. And so I always would tell my mom, I grew out of my fishbowl. It's time for a bigger tank. That's my scenario. And like I can feel it when it's happening. And so I'm like, cool, the tank's getting too small. And so I wanted to be somewhere where I hopefully don't feel that way. And knowing me, I probably will at some point, but I don't want my stylist to feel that way. I want to feel like any products, any techniques, any ideas, any amount of growth they want is celebrated. It's not stunted. No one's making fun of it. And so I just want every environment that I'm in my life to be positive like that. So that's what I want to create for the girls. And so we're really fostering education and independence. So I want to celebrate that independence in a team-like environment. So growing up in Paul Mitchell, it's so culture and team based. And so now it is a booth rent salon, but it's all like-minded individuals who will sweep everyone else's hair, not because they're told to, but because they want to. And when someone else has a success, it can be posted on the board and everyone's stoked out of their mind about it. You know what I mean? And so that's just the kind of home I want to be in. We're in the salon more than I see my kids sometimes, which is sad, but it's true. And so I need that to be a happy space. I just want people to grow and be so happy.
It seems like a good balance between the two. I mean, being able to have independence, but be a part of a community.
Yeah, and that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
So we work with companies, but not for companies.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And so we're sponsored not because we're paid, but because I said, hey, I love your product and I want to work together.
Yeah. Like
and at any point that could end.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally. You know, they value you in the same way that you value, it's just a mutual respect thing. It's a relationship.
It's like our clients. We're clients to each other and friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about it. It's very intimate. It's small. It is set up for education, so we can host and I can host education.
Do you do any sort of, like, especially now that you're going to have this space, would you have, a setup to do like online classes or anything like that, or?
Yes, we are going to have our first webinar in the next month or two. And we're going to have some small little e-courses being launched. But yeah, I mean, the purpose behind it was a lot of education, honestly. And then I was like, oh, this would be fun to have a team. And it just made sense. So it just kind of came together organically.
So St. George is really developing into like a hub of fashion and beauty.
Oh yeah, your next road trip.
But it doesn't even matter. We just established that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, and I mean, people want their hair to look pretty anywhere you live, and so that's why our job's great. It doesn't really matter where we live.
And it's good because now they're getting inspiration from a global source through technology as opposed to just whatever the local newscaster has or something like that.
I love that you guys are doing this podcast, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're actually kind of in the same boat where our intent, we are having a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
We love having these conversations and connecting with people. We're not entirely sure why or what we're doing or where it's going to go.
That's totally okay.
We're just getting out of our fishbowl.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and I think
so that analogy really sits well with us, I think.
For sure. And I think that's kind of great because just two random dudes decided to do this, just like some punk girl decided to do that.
Yeah.
And we all are kind of just doing it. And I think the only thing
it's
that really...
inspiring, though.
Yeah, the only thing that separates us from anyone else is not that we have this magical gift. It's that, well, we're just trying it. We're just going for it. And you work hard and see what happens. And, we'll screw up a bunch, but we'll make it work.
Well, and I think if you're enjoying it, you're in the right spot,
So is there anything we can do for you? How can is there a message you want to give to our audience? Or, we'd love to be able to support you and hopefully, connect to some more people that want to do some more classes.
How are they going to find your webinar? And
they'll find it on my website, beautybyelizabethfaye.com. And that's also my Instagram, beautybyelizabethfaye. So we'll post it on there.
And we'll add some links onto our website as well and our Instagram and all that.
No, I think what you guys are doing is really inspiring and you should keep doing it.
Thank you.
No, I just think the message behind it is that everyone has a story and everyone's story is important and has value and can help others, and you can really do whatever you want to do with this amazing industry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This has been an awesome conversation.
It's really nice.
This is fun.
We'll see what happens with episode 2. Maybe we'll do a follow up on this in a year from now and see where we're all at. It'll be fun to catch up.
That'll be awesome.
All right.
Thank you for being our inspiration.
Oh, thanks for getting me in the hair.
All right. Thank you for listening today. And you can learn more about Beauty by Elizabeth Faye through our website or just go straight to beautybyelizabethfaye.com. You can also follow her on Instagram, Beauty by Elizabeth Faye. Or if you happen to be in St. George, just go. It's
or
a
if
small
you're a
town.
salon and you're looking to host
Yeah, we're really excited about education. Teach.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Better. All right.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for this episode. We hope you liked it as much as we loved making it. For more information about us, our guests, or anything else you heard today, please go to detergentinsurgents.com.